Alrighty guys, a day that I don't know why this thing does that. I'm gonna be honest with you, this thing has a mind of its own all of a sudden, and I think it's because I'm using the second key. Anyway, a day that I've been waiting for a long time is to get you my driving impressions on the street with the ZR1. I have not had a chance to do anything with it, waiting for the title and everything to show up, but now everything seems to be kosher and happy, so I'm gonna go ahead, take it out for a little spin and give you sound driving impressions. 60 to 130, maybe 60 to 0, because I think the Draggy can measure all of that. And just to give you a nice full rundown of what the capabilities are of a used ZR1. It is a used ZR1, so I'm sure the clutch probably needs to be replaced soon. I'm sure the brakes aren't exactly how they worked way back in the day. And I just want to see what the metrics are. I drove it yesterday for a little bit, and one of the first things I found out about this thing is it is not, with it, with all the nannies off, all the traction control systems off and everything, it's twitchy. It's super twitchy. You really got to be up on the wheel. You can't relax with it. I took a turn that I take with the white Mustang yesterday pretty aggressively. I almost lost control in it, and I went, wait a minute, is it because the tires are cold? Is it because I'm not used to the chassis? Who knows? But I'm used to the S550 and it's really predictable. We'll see if this thing is a pretty unpredictable car, but yesterday it did not give me a lot of confidence slamming some of the turns that I slam in the thing. So let me get in it, take it for a drive, get you the specs, my driving impressions, sound, sights, the whole 9 yards, and get you up to date on what's going on with the ZR1. All right, I got the little fuzzy cover on the GoPro, and I'm hoping that you guys will be able to hear me. So after driving it a little while, actually driving it back from Pennsylvania, I wasn't able to get like a good sense of the car because I'm not driving areas that I am familiar with. So I said, let me just get this car on the road finally, get you guys some proper content on the car in terms of driving habits, my thoughts, impressions, sights and sounds. So I'm in it, got a couple GoPros going. So I'm gonna go somewhere where I can drive it, go through the gears, you guys can hear everything, and get your general sense of the car that way. And then we'll do some 60 to 130, maybe quarter mile stuff if the clutch holds up. It's a hot day today. I'm not expecting a whole bunch from the car, so let's get after it. The first things you realize about this car is how long first gear is. It's very long, but then 2, 3, 4 are right up against each other. They're really nice and tight. So I put the windows down to see if that's better sound. I'll listen back to the audio to see if it kind of still makes a bunch of wind turbulence noise with the GoPro. But first is really long. You can go supposedly 60 miles an hour in first gear. And I mean, 2, 3, 4 are stacked right up against each other. I'm gonna go ahead and look up the gear ratios and put them somewhere here so you guys can see what the gear split is compared to like a TR6060 or a T56. But I don't think it's a conventional gear set similar to a 266 T56 because they're so tied up against each other. 2, 3, 3, 4. Going 40 miles an hour first gear, and it gets there quickly. Torquey, lightweight. Not used to that. Coyotes really don't do shit down low, to be honest with you. We all know that. But they sing up top and they love boost. But this LS9, I'm hoping, lasts me a while at about 800 so horsepower. That's the goal anyway, to have it make about 800 horsepower when it's all said and done. Okay, because I don't know the car that well, I'm not willing to do a super hardcore 1-2 with all the nannies off. So I'm going to keep all the nannies on, do a normal 1-2. Not to say I'm going to launch the car, but do a normal 1-2. But the 2-3 can always get the sauce, even with a not so familiar car. Let me get the windows down. Do a little quick 2-3 for you guys. It almost feels, whoa, there's shit everywhere. It almost feels like Chevy puts I smell catalytic converter. It almost feels like Chevy puts a spark cut on the shift because it feels like I'm engaging the next gear faster, but there's a very slight delay And I don't know if that's some spark cut silliness going on. I'm gonna go ahead and hold down the traction control button for a little while, and it says traction system and active handling off. I don't know what that means, but it's almost like advanced track off, I would think, on Mustang. I'll see what it does. Do a 1-2 soft and then a pretty hardcore 2-3. Super nice people here. Make sure no federales or anywhere. So, because you can go 60 mile an hour first gear, I think I can start to pull in second and be okay for a 60 to 130. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Start, and we'll see what it does.
Quarter mile.
60 to 130. I guess me being low to the ground in this car feels fast, but Jackie don't lie, 8 something. That's not that great of a starting point with the supposed power and weight this thing makes. Now, you guys want to talk about weather and stuff, that's all fine and dandy, but a 7-second 60 to 130 for any supercharged vehicle that makes or claims over 600 horsepower should be attainable. Now, I can't data log this thing yet. I don't have all my stuff, but that's going to be the next step. See how much boost it's making, see how much spark it's seeing, to see if the EKG of the vehicle is proper. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off in first gear to make sure that I'm not starting in too low of a gear, so that by the time I hit 60, hopefully the next gear that catches is in a nice spot. I'm going to do it back to back because why not? The car supposedly isn't hopped up, doesn't have a crazy pulley. I'm not really looking at the boost numbers, get it on the dyno for that, but definitely start it in first gear this time and to see if that makes any difference. So slow it down. Plenty of room here, Mexico. Video. So again, start it in first and we'll see what it does.
Fuji, quarter mile, 60.
So it's pretty consistent. 836. Not impressive, okay? Decent, but definitely not impressive for a ZR1. So we have a lot of work to do to make this thing respectable. 8 seconds, 60 to 130, a full bolt-on 10R80 car can sauce this thing up. Now, again, I'm just taking it out, giving you guys a baseline. ZR1 owners, don't get mad at me. All I'm doing is testing the car out as I received it, in the weather that I'm in, with the tune that's in it, if there is a tune. So don't get mad at me, okay? If I'm showing you 8 seconds, 60 to 130, he's going, that's bullshit! Fucking, I knew he was gonna. You think I'm gonna go out of my way and buy $70,000+ worth of vehicle just to shit on Chevy? I mean, I might, but that's not my goal here. So let me stop somewhere. Let me go ahead and get, the camera back there, get some sounds up, and then you guys can hear it, and we'll wrap up the video. GoPro's still on. Okay, so there you have it. The first couple of pulls I made on the car made me go, wow, this thing's a 7-second 60 to 130 car. And then after the draggy goes, wah wah, no it's not. I mean, I didn't measure the first one, it felt good. The subsequent ones felt fine too. I didn't feel it lay over or anything. Shifts are good, shifter's great. I don't need to upgrade the shifter. A lot of you guys are, I didn't miss a shift. So if you guys are having issues with your stock ZR1 shifters, I feel bad for you, son, because a dumbass Mustang dumbass that doesn't know shit got in a ZR1 first time and had no issue. So driving impressions is, it's a very stiff car. It's not something I would daily. Obviously it's a very expensive car to daily. And wow, some nice people here. He let me go. What a nice guy. So but as a baseline, as a car to have some fun with, and again guys, this is 2009. I'm not making excuses for the ZR1. I'm a Ford guy through and through, but I wanted to get into a stick shift ZR1 because I've always thought that the potential of these cars is pretty damn good. You can make probably 800 to 900 easily with head cam and some porting, or maybe a 2650 blower upgrade in E85, but the baseline is in the 8s. In Florida, it is 95 degrees outside, probably 80 to 85 or more % humidity. Not making an excuse, but I bet the ZR1 guys right now are punching air, because in Florida, if you have a bone stock ZR1, do not race a fully bolted on A10 car. Do not race a Vortec with a 3.6. They might handle you. These cars make 600 whatever to the flywheel, but a 3.6 equipped Mustang makes that to the rear wheel, 650 plus. So even with the weight advantage and all that, you might have your work cut out for you if you own a stock, again guys, stock ZR1 and think you want to play with modified Coyote Mustangs. I still think I give the nod based on the 60 to 130. My car is a second and a half almost, 1.3 seconds ahead my car was, now that it's a neutered NA car, because I tried to put a turbo kit on it. When it had a Vortec with a 3.4 pulley and some race gas, it would have been a second plus ahead. But that's the nice thing, we baseline it, we modify it, we see how we can make it better. Exhaust, cam, heads, E85, all that stuff is in its near future, because I have an inkling this car is going to do well for me. I really enjoy shifting it, I really enjoy driving it, and I'm going to make sure that I get as much content out of it as possible, because it's got to pay for itself. Basically, that's the way I look at it. All right guys, thanks for listening, thanks for putting up with my delays, because I had to get the title. Finally everything's squared away and I have all my paperwork ready, so I should be able to get you a lot more content on this car as we modify it stage by stage. All right guys, thanks for listening.